So, since school never taught you how to defend yourself, I'm going to do exactly that. By the end of this video, you should be able to learn how to win in a street fight and how to properly defend yourself from an altercation. So, let's start with some basics. What is self-defense? Self-defense is simply the act of protecting yourself. Nothing more. But when most people think of self-defense, they think of a street fight. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. And not only is it about street fights, but it's also about the prevention of further harm. Okay? So let's say you are in an altercation and it's scuffed, right? Fists be flying, people are angry, tensions are high. You can get out of the situation with as least amount of pain as possible. Street fights. What are street fights? I'll define a street fight as any form of combat in a public place. Usually, a street fight is unexpected. This may involve weapons, multiple assailants, ambushes, and inconvenient surroundings. We'll talk about each of these later, okay? And here's the thing. There are no rules in a street fight. Absolutely nothing. Anything goes, okay? So even though we're going to talk about self-defense laws for the UK, do not cater to the self-defense laws in the heat of a fight, okay? There are no rules in a street fight. If you have been attacked, you need to be safe. It's as simple as that. Just be aware of them so that when we talk about what happens after, yes, that's right, we're going to talk about what happens after the fight, something no one ever talks about. We can refer back to the self-defense laws, okay? Now, in the UK, the self-defense laws are really lax, but they're very vague. But there are two main ones that I want you to be aware of. The first one is something called reasonable force. If you are involved in an altercation, you can use reasonable force to defend yourself. What is reasonable force? There are no clear definitions, so you can go as hard as you want. But the important thing is that you stop when you're out of danger. Okay? That's the important part. In my opinion, from what I have gathered from the self-defense laws, that's what I have interpreted this to mean. Another one is belief of an intimate attack. Imminent attack, sorry, I said intimate. If you think a fight is going to start, you do not need to wait to be attacked in order to be attacked. You can hit first if you want. If you want to, because you think that someone else is about to attack you. There is one exception to this rule. You cannot be under the influence. Okay? You cannot be under the influence whatsoever. So if you've drank alcohol, belief of an intimate attack goes out the window. If you've taken drugs like some moist little test tube baby, under the belief of an intimate attack comes out of the window. I'm going to make a separate video talking about uni life and how amazing it is. But I just want you guys to really understand this. Why are you drinking alcohol? Why are you drinking... why are you taking drugs? Like, there's no reason to do either of those things. And guess what? If, let's say, something happens to you, now you can't eat... You're going to have to wait to be attacked in order to, you know... in order to defend yourself. So that just puts you in an automatic disadvantage. Things to consider. Just things to consider. So now we know the self-defense laws, and I've told you some of the philosophies behind a street fight. How do you actually win a street fight? Step 1. Avoid a street fight. Why are you looking at me like that? Of course that's going to be step 1. You win 100% of the fights that you are not a part of. Alright, fine. Obviously, there are times where, you know, people are going to swing and conflict is inevitable. So how do you win that sort of street fight? Step 2. The person who wins a street fight is the person who goes home. Quite common sense, isn't it? Because God knows what this person is capable of doing. He might have a weapon, he might have a knife, he might know GMs in Greenwich, so I can't go to Greenwich for the rest of my life. The person who wins a street fight goes home. It doesn't matter how cool you look in the moment. You might have gotten concussed and you can't wake up the next morning, and that's it. It's dark, so if you want to win a street fight, the best way to guarantee you win is to go home. But okay, what if, let's say, I can't avoid the street fight and I have to engage. I can't disengage, right? Step 3 is to learn a martial art. Why are you looking at me like this? Did you think this video is going to be, hey guys, welcome to Self-Defense Central. If someone grabs you like this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna twist your own arm and we're gonna do a technique called Okarimaki Tendin, where what we're gonna do is we're gonna twist the arm away, and because we twist the arm, that incentivizes him to throw an elbow. We catch the elbow and then break. No, it's gonna be none of those things. This isn't going to be some, you know, some soccer mum PT, and that's nothing against soccer mums or PTs, but this isn't going to be something about, you know, a soccer mum PT telling you how to defend yourself against a hench bodybuilder. It's not going to happen, okay? You're going to have to learn a martial art if you want to have an advantage in a street fight. It really is that simple. Striking martial art or grappling martial art, up to you. I would recommend a bit of both if you have the time and if you have the money, right? If not, pick one. Because honestly, it comes down to what do you define as a street fight? If someone comes up to you on the street and asks for your money, is that a street fight? If someone shoves you on the side of the road, is that a street fight? If someone comes on the bus and starts attacking you whilst you're seated, is that a street fight? If you're in a swimming pool and you've scored in water polo, flexed in front of the enemy team, and then one of the guys comes up to you wanting to knock you out and break your jaw, is that a street fight? Things to consider. So both striking and grappling martial arts have their pros and cons. It's up to you which one you want to learn best. So here is the first exercise of the day. Contact a local martial arts gym and book a free trial. If they do free trials. Sometimes you might have to pay a drop-in fee. I know you have to for Roger Gracie, I think you have to. I believe there's one like 20 minutes away that you have to drop in. But bottom line is call a local gym and book a trial. Things to consider when you book a trial is just bring, you know, gym clothes. And also just check the vibe. Like, what type of vibe is it? Is it one of those happy, jolly vibes? Is it one of those serious vibes? Is it one of those, like, competitive, tense vibes? Just check it out and see what is suitable for you. Because some people like the happy, jolly vibe, right? Where, you know, it's about team building, we all help each other. Other people are more competitive, so they like to build their blocks. My gym is kind of family friendly, but also kind of tense type of gym. So anyway, just things to consider, okay? Another thing is just know how the coach, like, look at your coach. Like, what do you see in this coach? Are they treating you well? Is everyone else treating you well? How do they treat the techniques? Do they answer questions all right? Just things to consider. Call a martial arts gym, book a trial, and attend that trial. That's all you're gonna do, okay? Now, let's assume you found a martial arts gym, you've booked a trial, and finally you've joined, yeah? Happy days, awesome. Now you need to fight dirty. I forgot to add animations here. Alright, doesn't matter. You need to fight dirty, right? Because whenever we train efficiently, right? Because the importance of a martial arts is also longevity. If you can train forever, you have more volume, more reps, and overall, it's a better experience, right? In a street fight, however, you have to use every advantage you have. The problem is, even though you and I, we know this, one thing you will notice when you eventually train for a number of months or a number of years is you'll have muscle memory to fight clean, especially against your teammates who now you've grown to like a little bit. So we need to have a little bit of muscle memory to fight dirty. The way that I do this, it may not be the way that it's supposed to be done, but this is the way that I do it. Learn a little bit of Krav Maga. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Learn a little bit of Krav Maga and like the system in which they fight. Because remember, Krav Maga is an Israeli fighting martial art. It's designed pretty much to fight against other soldiers. Of course, they're going to use every advantage they have. Okay? And have at least one training partner who you will practice these self-defense techniques with. You can't really drill these Krav Maga techniques. You can drill like the nose one and like pushing the face and a little bit of the groin, but be a bit careful, gents. Have at least one training partner who like knows what you're gonna do, and like you can agree with them. Okay, we can practice self-defense on each other. For me, this has always been my cousin, my little cousin. Of course, little cousin, because I'm the big guy, big brother vibes. It's always been my cousin, and like this is just the way that we train. We train self-defense. Like, how do you think I got this cut on my eye? Because you poked me in my eye. Don't worry, Bashkim, if you're watching this. I forgive you. These stuff happens. You're gonna get hurt a lot also when you train martial arts. It's just the nature of how it works. It is a combat sport after all. Yeah. So now you have a partner who you can fight dirty with. Occasionally. Right? Remember? We both need our bodies. I need my... Like, there's no point throat chopping me in sparring. I need my voice to record these videos. There's no point me bending your fingers like that or something. You need your hands to type in the office tomorrow. We all need our bodies. But occasionally, now and again, you have a partner who you can fight dirty with. So now you know how to win a street fight. Congratulations! If somebody approaches you, 9 times out of 10, you know how to win against this guy because you've trained for maybe a year, you know the basic mechanics of your martial art, and you know how to fight dirty. Congratulations! That's the easy part done and dusted. Because now you've learned the skill of winning a street fight. We all know, though, that the hardest part about the nautication is before and after. And let's talk about it. So, let's talk about before. Usually, a street fight begins either in a confrontation or an ambush, right? A confrontation is where someone comes up to you, intimidates you, and wants to fight, okay? An ambush is where they maybe sucker punch you, they like grab you from behind, and it's a complete surprise, okay? And from there, the fight's on. Now, usually it can be a combination of both. Like, for example, I don't know, they could be with a friend, like with their friends, they're all coming up to you, and you're just like, alright, calm down, calm down, calm down. And then from the side, your friend's like, thwack, and then it's on, right? That's a bit of both, because they've come up to you, and then they've sucker punched you first. Okay? But let's talk about them as like individuals, and then we'll talk about them as like together. They kind of go hand in hand, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. The confrontation is the lesser of the two evils. Why? Because resolution is possible without conflict. Okay? The easiest way that you can do this is to go in something which I like to call the pleading stance, or hasogamai in Shrenji Kempo. What you do is you stand in the fighting stance, but you put your hands up like this, right? As if to say like, yo, I don't want to fight you. This is what the body language suggests. Obviously in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, right, okay, I'm in a confrontation, a fight could start, but I'm going to do this so that everyone around me knows that I don't want to fight. But if this guy swings, I've got my hands up and I can like elbow him, left hook, block, whatever, okay? But I've got my hands up. That's the important thing. It's just the easiest way of doing it. Note their behavior as well, right? Sometimes they might be aggressive. Sometimes they'll tell you what they're going to do to you. Sometimes they are drunk. Sometimes they're high. Sometimes, you know, they might not be mentally right. Okay? It's just all things to note. How do you know if they're going to actually attack you? I don't know. Humans are unpredictable. You need to understand the social cues behind it, but this is something that, you know, you're going to have to learn and then make a decision then and there. Okay? Alright. Note also your surroundings, because as well as a confrontation, fighting in the dojo and fighting on the streets, two completely different things. You might be a jiu-jitsu blue belt, but you're fighting in a swimming pool, so there's no ground game there. You might be fighting in a car. Someone might open your car and then start swinging at you. Your boxing's out of the window. You might be... Wait, no, that's a ambush. Retract that last statement. Someone might, you know, banging on your door, right? And, you know, could open your car and that's it. That's the start of an altercation. So note your surroundings. Note how the fight is happening. If, let's say, you have, like, you've accepted the fact that a fight is going to happen, hit first. You have to start it, okay? We've already discussed that in a previous slide, that belief in an intimate attack is qualified for grounds that a street fight is started. That's part of self-defense, okay? So you can hit first if you genuinely believe your life is in danger and this guy could attack you, okay? But here's the thing. I've hit first. One thing you need to also do is make as much noise as you possibly can, okay? Make as much noise. Scream, shout, swear at them, intimidate them back, right? Like literally punch them, push them away, and then literally tell them to go away. You're going to say more rude words, but this is the tutoring channel. I don't really want to swear. Make as much noise as possible. Another thing is let's say you're a smaller, weaker person. You might need help, okay? The problem is there's something called the bystander effect, okay? This is where, if let's say you say, help, help, and there's everyone around, every single person is going to think, oh, well, he's going to do it, she's going to help. Not my problem, okay? So when you're when you're asking for help, describe the person you want to help. You want to help you, sorry. So let's say I'm like, you, guy with the stripy tuxedo and the tie, help it, like call the police now, as an example, okay? So here's a second exercise. Describe as best as you can the next 5 people you pass by on a walk. So let's do this with me. So let's say I'm with you in I'm walking past you. Excuse me. That was a little bit of a mouthful. Don't know why. Describe me. Okay. Tall, white guy, skinny guy, wearing a pink top, blue jeans, headphones, slippers. Okay? Just as an example. Let's see if I can see someone outside. Aha! I see someone outside. Beard, hat, tallish guy, wearing a grey jacket, Nike bag. And that's all I can remember from that guy. Just as an example, okay? The important thing is that you're viewing your surroundings. That's point one. And point two is you're practicing describing strangers. So that if you ask for help from a stranger, then that specific stranger is more likely to help you because you're singling them out, okay? I'm going to make a cut here because I just realized that my slide is a bit scuffed. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I've talked about confrontations, right? What about ambushes? Well, you'd be happy to know that the next exercise will help you to prevent ambushes, because the best way to negate an ambush is to see it coming, okay? The way we can see it coming is look at your surroundings, okay? Look at the people. Could this guy ambush me? That guy's wearing a bally in South London. Okay, so nothing too unusual, let's be honest. People wear ballies in South London now. It's just how it is. So moist! It's so moist! Anyways, I'm sorry. It is. If you wear a bally, like as a fashion choice, you are moist. I'm gonna tell you this now. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, a guy wearing sunglasses at night. Pretty scuffed, don't you think? What else? A guy wearing a suit, he's the only one there. Up and down. But bottom line is I know he's there, okay? So if this guy attacks me, I know he's there. We're in a tunnel, okay? So that guy there could be somebody waiting for me down the corner. Where could be the best place to position myself? Do I want to go on the left? Do I want to go on the right? Up to you. You know, it's just things to consider. Look at yourself. What senses are compromised? Are you wearing sunglasses at night? That could impact your vision. Are you wearing AirPods? Is listening to music going to help you? Can't you just wait till you get home and then listen to your music? Are you holding a lot of stuff? So are you willing to drop everything in order to in order to defend yourself? Like, are you wearing a big bag? Are you wearing a big jacket that restricts your movement? Things to consider. Are you wearing a bally? That could screw up your breathing. Take off your bally. Seriously, take off your bally. Anyways. Also, what routes are you taking to go to your destination? Is there a longer way that's a bit more safe? Do you really need to go through that alleyway? It's not very... It's dark, but... I mean, is it worth it? Just things to consider. Because remember, the best way to negate an ambush is to see it coming. And with all of these, all we're doing is we're freeing up those senses. We're analysing our surroundings, backgrounds, other people, what have you. You're looking at yourself. Are you compromised in any way? And finally, is this route that I'm taking? Like right now I'm in my house. I can't really get ambushed unless I'm getting burgled, right? I'm relatively safe. But if I was, let's say, in an alleyway, I could probably get ambushed, let's be real. So, what do we do after a street fight? You've won your street fight, now what? What are you going to do now? Are you hurt? Now, things to consider. Are you hurt? How's the other opponent? What do you define as winning? Are they trapped in an armbar? Do you have them in a choke? Is there anyone surrounding you so that you can maybe ask for help? Are they bleeding? Are you bleeding? Do you have their blood on you? Just things to consider. Usually the right thing is to run away, but here's the thing, right? Are you just gonna go to... where are you gonna run to? Are you gonna run to the doctor? Are you gonna run just 100 meters so that it's away from you? Are you away from the incident? Are you sure that the other person isn't gonna run after you and no one else is? Just things to consider, okay? And if things get serious, this could haunt you. What happens if you've knocked this person out? Are you just gonna leave them there for dead? Right? Are you going to stay with them or maybe call an ambulance or the police? So that, you know, you're with them, you're with the police explaining what has happened, and they can't, I don't know, lie and say that they got assaulted, for example. Or, what injuries have you got? Like, maybe you've been floored and you didn't brake full correctly. Now you've got a broken arm. Just things to consider. Maybe go to the hospital. Maybe go to the doctor. You see, after the street fight, now this is the part where it's a bit scuffed, okay? Because you've done you've tried to prevent, didn't really work. You've done the training, but here's the thing. How are you going to deal with it afterwards? Because there are consequences to being in an altercation. You might be questioned by police, you might get sued, you might be seriously hurt, you might get an infection, you might get cut. Up to you. But it's how do you deal with those consequences? Right, that was the video done. Here's some quick tips. Practice mindfulness, practice your social skills, practice your physical health. This is honestly 99% of self-defense, okay? Practice your mindfulness so that in an altercation, you know what you're feeling and you know roughly what they are feeling as well, whether or not they are going to attack you or what else. Practice your social skills so that if you're in a confrontation, you can plead with somebody to stop a physical fight. And obviously improve your physical health so that if you are in a fight, they're not going to win and you're going to be as least hurt as possible. And hopefully, you're hench enough that they think better than to pick on you. If you're thinking to yourself, but Sammy, what do I do when someone has a knife coming up to my throat? What do I do if someone grabs me across the street? What am I do when, I don't know, somebody is hitting on me and harassing me? You're clearly missing the point. Because remember, self-defense is a skill at the end of the day. And it all comes down to these three things. It's not just fighting to defend yourself. It's about just the preservation of your life. And this requires practice, which you can do yourself by practicing these three skills. Mindfulness, so you can be aware of your surroundings and yourself. Your social skills, so that you can plead with your attacker. And hopefully everyone else is convinced that you are the victim. Why do you think footballers dive and they dive and cheat a lot? What are you more likely to believe? Right? I hurt my knee. Or I hurt my knee. Which ones are you more likely to believe? Exactly, the second one. So practicing your social skills in that aspect. And then finally, the part which everyone overly talks about, the physical health. It's probably the least important out of the three, but healthy body, healthy mind. These two definitely go hand in hand. All three of them go hand in hand. Okay? But that's all I've got time for today. I know nothing about self-defense. These are the resources that can help you out. Watch the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship, as I learnt a lot from that series. Shout outs to Rokus. Also, Rokus did interview Jeff Phillips, who is a self-defense guy in Australia, an ex-Krav Maga coach, who also helped with the choreography of the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship. I think you can learn a lot from him. Both links will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If you guys need help with maths or anything in general, join my Discord server and you can send me any questions you want. And if you guys want to get tutored to pass your exams, drop me an email and we can organize a meeting and a quote. Keep on learning, as you have no idea what you're capable of.